What's up, guys? It is playoff time. Sorry the video's a little bit late, you know me. Anyway, let's take a look. For the Elim stage, I did pretty well. Got 7 correct. I think the only surprising thing was that Na'Vi bombed out and that MONGOLZ went 3-0, which I'm very happy about. But I think everyone should have passed the Elim stage, to be honest. And I kind of wish I hadn't trolled the opening stage now, but is what it is. For the playoffs, I've already posted my Pickems on Twitter and stuff, but this is what I've got. Now, I will say I'm not in contention for Diamond. So, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is what I think will happen. This is just what I'd love to see happen. We all want MONGOLZ to win, let's be honest. It's a beautiful story for this team, you know, and for an APAC team to win in China. That's really cool. I also have Liquid beating Spirit because I want JKS to do well, but I think either of these teams I'd love to see do a deep run. But realistically, I think Vitality win the whole thing. And I think if I was to say the most likely outcome, it would be probably this. And I would say the winner of MONGOLZ Spirit would lose to Vitality. Let's just say Spirit. I think it could be MONGOLZ on a good day, but it's probably Spirit. I think that MONGOLZ are actually better than MONGOLZ. They probably should have beat them in the best of one. And I think that they are the better team. So if I was still in contention for Diamond, this would be what I would run if I was just purely objective, completely leaving my feelings out of it. This would be the safest way to go. But if you're still going for Diamond, you want to go for something crazy, I love the idea of putting MONGOLZ and getting a MONGOLZ Diamond coin. I did the same thing in Rio with Furia because I thought a Furia Diamond is worth way more than, you know, Heroic or Na'Vi or whatever team was it. I wanted the Furia Diamond, didn't get it. I don't think anyone really got a Diamond from that one, but yeah. So I would say Vitality favorites. You could make a case for G2. Either way, it's one of these two teams that probably wins the major. Make your choice. Let's look at fantasy. For the Elim stage, I was spot on 20%, which is very lucky for me because I think Hawker ended up exactly the same, so we didn't really change our standing. Zywoo Messi, ZTR, worked out perfectly. You guys were right. I don't know why I picked Voki. I did the gym fat thing, right? Where I picked Voki and he had one of his career worst events. That's just classic. You know, that's just classic fantasy. If I'd gone Rain, this probably would have been a top 15%. I don't think that would have made a difference though. Yeah, I would have needed to have changed both of these players. Both Techno and Brokey were duds. If I'd gone TSS instead of Voki, that would have been the play, possibly. But ultimately, I can't really complain. It's an okay result. This is the standings going into the final event of the year. Vince, number 1, 198 points. That is 25 points higher than me. Almost impossible unless I get a top 1%. Nart, 191, also maybe out of reach. The people I'm fighting are Hawker, Maui, Nero, and I guess Hugo. All right? I have a chance to finish third if I can get a good draft here. All right? I need a top 10% at a minimum. But I think even higher is necessary. If I really want to breach into the top 3, I need to go for something crazy. What are we gonna do? Let's take a look. Let's run through some players. Let's get cooking. Before I dive into actual players, just have a quick look at the most picked players. I think it's worth having an idea of what people are doing because it feels like we're gonna get double MONGOLZ or at least single MONGOLZ in about a third to a quarter of drafts. And then there's another percentage of drafts or potentially overlap that are going to be going Nico or Zywoo. So G2 Vitality MONGOLZ going to be the most picked players here. So you might want to consider that with your drafts. And I think Karrigan is here because a lot of people are going to be chickening out on Karrigan, which I think is a pretty decent strategy because I think he's 177k. So he can be a good way to allow you to afford Zywoo, Nico, Donk if you wish to do that. So that's just something worth considering, depending on where you are for the season and what your objective is. So for me, my objective is a top 5%, which means we're not going to see any of these players in my draft. G2, I think that Nico is a good reason he's in the most picked. 217 for him feels very good. And I think if you're not going Zywoo, you're not going Donk, he's probably a very attractive option to go instead. I think that Malbs is maybe not really worth it for his price with Nico's form compared to his so far at the major. For 4k more, you get Nico. Monacy for 227 also doesn't feel worth it when Zaiwu is essentially in the same ballpark as is Donk, and both have been performing a lot better than Monacy thus far. So I would say Nico, Malbs, and Hunter are the players worth getting on G2. For Vitality, it's obviously Zaiwu, but I think that all of them show good form during the Elim stage, so it's hard to really give a good analysis of who's the right pick because we don't really know who's going to show up in these best of threes. But I would say that these three all have been pretty good value. Flames and Mezzy in particular feel pretty good for that kind of 200 to 210 price point. I don't know if Apex is worth the 192, especially because he is the most popular pick. For Spirit, I think that Zontix continues to be a very nice price, and if I was gonna go Spirit, I would be grabbing him hands down. I think Zontix Shiro is a cool combo if you think Spirit are gonna do the topside run, because not many people are gonna go that combo, and I think it's a little cheaper than going Donk Chopper, and I think that your average rating might end up being better than going Donk. It's hard to say. Donk can be a real draft maker or draft breaker. Magic's not worth it though, and Chopper, I don't really think has shown that he's worth that price. This is the IGL price for the top teams at the moment, but I think Chopper's form doesn't beget a 190k price tag. I think Mouse have very nice pricing though. I think that Shue for 191 is probably a better choice than Chopper and Snacks. Not sure if he's a better choice than Apex. I think they are pretty similar, and Apex did play really well during the Elim stage, but again, very small sample size and stompy games, so it's really hard to say if he's better. I would say normally Shue is the better player. I think that Torji and Xerxin stand out though amongst the rest of the players as being really good value. Xerxin has been the best player of this team for a long time, but I think Torji during this major thus far has been a real standout, and I think 203 for Torji feels very cheap. I think you're crazy to draft FaZe here. I think they get wiped by Vitality, and even if they win that game, they get wiped by G2 or even Heroic. It's really hard to see a way out for FaZe. And I think that if you're going to draft them, I guess you're getting Rain. But honestly, this team here exists so that you can get Carrigan and put Chicken out on him. Heroic, I think there is kind of a fun case for, just because you can get like Nert's Kixan for a really cheeky combo, and then you could go like a heavy Spirit draft or even MONGOLZ, and you've kind of got something fun going on. But I think, again, it's a very risky team to draft. Kixan's maybe not a bad budget choice, just because there's a chance that Heroic show up versus G2. Even if they lose, Kixan's been playing well, and you probably don't need to waste the Chicken out on him. You still could, but at that point, you may as well get Carrigan, I feel. Yeah, I think Nert's Kixan, the only players here that jump out to me. All the MONGOLZ feel reasonable. Techno was terrible during the Elim stage, so I don't think I'd recommend him, even though he is so cheap. Senzu, I think if you're going MONGOLZ, you go Senzu. I don't think it's worth drafting into this team if you're not going the full hog and grabbing Senzu, who has been so strong for them. And to me, the combo is Senzu Mazinho, but if you can afford Senzu 910, that's maybe something to say. And then with Liquid, I think that the standout here is Yukindar and JKS. There's maybe some interest in Ultimate for 192. There's definitely some real cheapies in Liquid, and I do think they have a reasonable shot at beating Spirit. And if they beat Spirit, I think Spirit are tougher than MOUZ or the MONGOLZ. So it's not impossible for Liquid to end up in the grand final. And they're very cheap. I'm not going to draft them, but I can see why someone would. There's a lot you can, there are some things you can do here. I would suggest stepping outside of the G2 Vitality Spirit box, all right? Have some individuality. Dig deep. It's the last event of the year. So with that said, I'm going double Vitality. I'm going Sphinx, and I'm going Flame Z. I'm not going the Zaiwu Apex combo that everyone's going, and I think this is going to give me a point of difference. I feel that if Apex, kind of plays like he normally does rather than, the Elim stage boosted stats, I think Sphinx Flames, that combo might actually do better than Apex Zaiwu. I'm hoping that's the case anyway. It's a point of difference. And because I need a 5 to 1% finish, I do need to go a different team on the other side than everyone else. I can't go the MONGOLZ. I can't go Spirit. I'm going to go MOUZ. I'm going to go Torje. I'm going to go Shuei. I think this combo is quite strong. Torchi's form has been really good throughout the major. Shuei is a fragging IGL, can finish in the top, of the scoreboard for his team at times, and I feel that packs more punch than Apex does. Leaves me 182, which means I'm grabbing Yakinda as my final player. I know he's very risky, and I could technically even chicken out on him in the first round, but I might actually not, because Spirit might lose to Liquid. There is a chance, and I have to believe. I have to take the chances. I'm shooting for the moon. Someone stole Photo Finish as a team name. I know that people watch these videos and then steal team names in future events, so I'm on to you, but we're shooting for the moon. All right, we're hoping at the very least we land in the stars. We're going for that top 3 finish, and MONGOLZ is the way that we're gonna do it. Even if MOUZ lose and MONGOLZ end up winning the whole thing, I'll still be happy because I want MONGOLZ to win. So it's win-win, kind of. Either way, guys, this is my team, and this is probably my last video for the season. It's the last game, so this is it. So I want to say thank you so much for sticking through this year and always having conversations in the comments. It's my favorite part of doing the fantasy videos is talking with you guys about it. And, it's a bit sad that Scrawny's not doing the videos so much these days. And I hope I've been able to fill that void a little bit for you guys. Either way, it's been a good year, and I'm hoping 2025 is just as good. So thank you all so much. Enjoy the major playoffs, enjoy your Christmases, and I'll see you in 2025. And as always, good luck.